Howdy, folks. And just a quick preemptive strike, as it were. McMurray and I are going to do a before the show look at what we got done over the weekend. I'll tell you right now that he got a lot more done than I did. That's for damn sure. So we'll go ahead and start with his massive amount of stuff. I'm going to go ahead and make you the solo layout so we can just see what you got going and go to town. You're up.
You adjust there. It's like you can't really get all of it in here. But so Joel asked, and so we were good to go basing figures for a point each, which any of you viewers who have been around for a while know that I cannot stand basing figures. So I said I was going to base a bunch of figures. I think my total, what I figure out, I wound up basing 244 figures.
Yeah, I think so. Something like that.
Something like that. I think it was 244 28s based, and then I had like 30 something points in these guys. We'll get to that. So anyways, rolling straight through down the line, starting with just stuff that was already painted and I based. I have 5 of these Ascari figures. Those are all based. So those guys are cool looking figures. Don't remember where I really got them, but there's 5 of those guys. I've got 3 of these kind of modern, African border police type guys. You can see he's got some gold tinged aviators on. There's a couple others. Here's another dude with, I think, some aviators on. Yeah. 3 of those guys also based. I've got 10 or 12 Australians, British, Pacific War irregular jungle fighters that I also, using this guy and a couple others, use for my Emu Wars guys, because we got, again, old boy with Lewis gun, and we have a second guy with a rifle, and then Captain whatever his name is. I don't remember the captain's name for the Emu War, but anyways, or Major. But yeah, I've got 11, it looks like, of these modern U.S. guys, modern U.S. operator guys. I think those are special artisan services. These should be Warlord. These, I think, are Steve Jackson, maybe? I'm not sure. I don't remember. But moving right on down the line, I got a bunch of Old Glory figures. I've got 5 of these little fezzed kind of henchman-looking guys. They're really good for, like, pulpy Indiana Jones bad guys, stuff like that. As well as 3 that are slightly more generic. There's an older lady. Got a shoveler. So again, basically you have city bad guys and excavation dig bad guys, for lack of a better term, for Indiana Jones type stuff. I have 33 Mexican kind of Pancho Villa era 28s. Let me find a guy that's got like so some of them have shoes, some of them don't. There's 30 just line guys, and then some command figures. 2 of the command figures are mounted. But yeah, those are Old Glory. So are these guys, actually. Down here in this corner, I've got 34 Americans. Those are 10th Cavalry. They're Buffalo Soldiers. So we got a couple officers. One mounted officer, 3 dismounted officers. And then, again, some Buffalo Soldiers. So that's pretty cool. Again, that's for the kind of 1917 punitive expedition into Mexico against Pancho Villa. Those guys are also Old Glory. Both the infantry and the command figures for both these sides are Old Glory. Kind of right in the center here, I've got a bunch of guys I painted up kind of like conquistadors, just kind of generic conquistador era Spanish or Portuguese guys. They're Wars of Religion figures by Old Glory. So whether that's, I originally painted them up to fight. I had a bunch of people locally here who wanted to play Test Honor. Oop, his spear's a little bit bent. Boop, there we go. Who wanted to play Test Honor. Painting Samurai is just incredibly unpleasant, so I painted Portuguese and used the Samurai cards. So we got Spearmen. There's some, arquebusiers, stuff like that. Those are also Old Glory. I don't remember how many of these I've got. I got, I got them laid out all silly too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like there's 20 of these guys. I have 4 of these knights that I based. Painted them up like the bad guys in Braveheart, right? So with the bright orange. Just kind of a generic, nondescript, but also super non-committal, Middle Ages, early dark or late Dark Ages, what have you. Anyways, Hollywood sword and shield bad guys, basically. I've got a lot of Romans up here. I've got, looks like 10 auxiliaries. Let's grab one of the command figures. So 10 auxiliaries. There's one of their little like semi-leader guys. I think I've got that's a weird number. I've got 18, legionaries. Again, I did the plumes all Hollywood style. I figured that'd be cool. He's got his Wheatus right there. My Centurion does. But yeah, so there's 18 of those guys. I've got 7. You can barely see them up here behind the logo, but I've got 7 crewmen and then 2 scorpions. So 2 little scorpions, and then 3 crew for each, and then a little commander for that battery or whatever, however you want to call it. I've got a number of just kind of gangs of Rome generic guys. They were organized into kind of factions. At the time, I think I was playing Song of Dust and Shadows with them, which is a Song of Blades and Heroes series game about gang fighting in ancient Rome. But it looks like for them, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 15 of them. So one of the factions is like dockyard workers. So you see they got chains. There's a couple guys like that. I left the chains free so they can dangle around and look kind of cool. Likewise, there's some, workmen. He's got just a pole. There's a dude somewhere in here who's got like a mallet. Where's he at? There's my guy with the mallet. As well as some just kind of generic, retired veterans, what have you, that are always wandering around Rome. Here's a guy with one of the little standards that Roman street gangs were, Collegio, were famous for running around with. Here's another dude with a, oh Jesus, what do you call it? What's the thing you use to steer the top of a rudder, Chris? Jesus, Mary and Joseph on the back of a ship. Anyways.
Tiller.
Tiller, there you go. Yep. Again,
Tiller the Hun.
Random dude. Yeah, there's a Tiller the Hun. You're exactly right. So there's 18 of those, or 15 of those guys. Just kind of random, cool little stuff. We've got 2 command figures. One kind of, again, generic Roman commander. 1 irregular commander. I think this is actually the Old Glory Spartacus figure, which is the only single figure I could really find that Old Glory sells, but I do really like the figure, so that's cool. Again, he's good to run around with these guys. This other commander is good to run around with my Romans. Gladiators, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 3 minus 2. So 23 figures, or 23 bases. This figure does have, or that base does have 2 figures on it. But just gladiators of every, variety that you can think of, including some little people, some really big guys, and there's some women in here somewheres. Nope, that's not a... There we go. There's a Lady Rotarius. And there's a couple others. But yeah, so there's all kinds of gladiator figures over here. Those will certainly... I was holding off playing Jay Wiley's Arena of Blood until I got hex bases in. Because at first I thought I needed a hex space, right, to orient on that hex mat. So I was waiting. I got those in like January or December. But Jay said he was going to be playing... We were going to be playing Arena of Blood in March. So I held off playing. got up there, realized I don't have to do that. So there is an arena under construction right now with hexes and with a hex mat on it that will be used for Arena of Blood. Stay tuned for that. We went over these Mexican American War guys. So that encompasses everything that I just based, right? So those guys were all painted and unbased. There we go. In addition to that, in terms of things that I painted and based, I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 18 Ewoks of various varieties that I painted up and based, and they got all kinds of cool stuff. There's a command figure. Here's another sort of command figure. So those guys are all chucky and hunky dory. I did some archers. Everybody's got the little stone points on everything. Some spearmen, and then just some kind of random generic stuff. Just all kinds of stuff. Having fun. They were all the Ewoks that I had primed. Here's one that's got a thermal detonator. No idea where an Ewok got a thermal detonator. There's a dude standing on a stormtrooper helmet. So, all
Same
kinds.
place you got a stormtrooper helmet.
What's up?
He got the thermal detonator. Same place you got the helmet.
Well, that makes sense. But yeah, so 18 Ewoks. That was the remainder of my primed Ewoks. I did find a few more, probably 10 or 12 more Ewoks that are glued onto washers but unprimed. So I'm going to prime those. I also have 2 gliders and 3 Ewoks on speeders to prime up. And then those will get painted as well. We're going to touch on the 6mm real quick before we come back to these guys. I did order a bunch of 6mm. These are 3D printed. I ordered a bunch of 6mm from Irregular Miniatures, including this gunboat, which I really like, man. Like the crew figures were all modeled onto it. It's just a cool kind of generic late colonial gunboat, right? It's not based necessarily specifically off of anything, but what that means is you can kind of, use it for a lot of stuff. Big fan. Painted that up. That was cool. I painted up some artillery pieces. This is a great big heavy artillery piece. I don't, it's supposed to be like a big Krupp gun or something like that. That actually came with a steam traction engine to move it. Painted that up. There's a bunch of like limbers for the rest of these guns, but I didn't mess with painting them. Oh, bent the mast just a hair bit. There we go. I've got 2 of these naval guns. So dismounted naval guns. Think like Karl's or Königsberg guns, except for earlier, kind of Victorian era, right? So you got some big 4-inch guns that are mounted on big naval carriages. Oh, gross. When you're looking at them like this, I swear it's not actually that easy to see their bases otherwise, but they're really showing up on camera. That's ugly. Sorry. Yikes. And then as well as that, I painted up 5 of these kind of generic field pieces. And then I've got 2 command figures, right? So I've got usually a commander and then some sort of guy kind of looking in civilian attire, whether that's just a colonel that doesn't like wearing a uniform or a, local guy, what have you. We have 1 cavalry commander here in the black and 1 or like a lancer commander sort of thing, maybe a Royal Artillery commander, and then a traditional red-coated British commander in that one. I've got 2 units of these lancers. Okay. So again, everybody's got the white helmet. We again have attached to that little command group in the center. We got a local sort of fella. So I got 2 units of lancers, 2 units of just kind of ordinary Victorian era cavalry, including these guys, which for whatever reason in that command group, there's a dude wearing a cape. So I painted up the cape on there. That was kind of cool. As well as then 3 units of infantry, just generic Victorian line infantry. So we've got a back row standing, front row with command group. These 2 front stands are kneeling. Cool stuff. Those are mainly going to be used with old tripods and triplanes tripods for some sort of War of the Worlds game, right? The triplanes and tripods and triplanes are 1/44th or 1/144th, right? Which honestly probably means the tripods are drastically underscaled, which I took into account If those tripods are nominally 1/144th, I figure they were underscaled. These guys should be 6 mil, 1/285th, 1/300. So we're essentially blowing those tripods up twice as large because they do seem slightly underscaled. By H.G. Wells' description, they're still a little underscaled, but sitting, 4 or maybe 4.5 inches off the table at 6 mil looks a whole lot better than sitting 4.5 inches off the table at 10 mil. So that's where we're at. That's what these are for. I'm torn on these because on one hand, I want to leave them in just these kind of generic dirt bases in case I want to use them for Sudan or something like that. But I also really want to make them really vibrant green, like they're outside Woking, they're on Horsell Common fighting the Martians. I don't know. Come back for more. I also probably need to figure out some sort of Martian infantry for them to fight, but at the same time, it's really hard to do. It's going to be hard to game War of the Worlds because there's not a whole lot that the humans can do to defeat the Martians.
You sneeze on them
by strength of arms, right? And exactly, and that's the thing, right? So that's hard. How am I going to get that onto a game table, what have you? Anyways, more on that later. In the words of a different famous YouTuber, these guns could probably do something about it. To be honest with you, a couple little 6-inch guns. Maybe this guy, these two, those would be high velocity 4-inch guns, maybe. Now, last but not least, these are probably my favorite figures that I messed with, not only during the challenge but in a long time. Man, I like these. I was not anticipating liking these that much. Big, huge fan. These are I'm drawing a blank on the line of figures, but they're done by Skull and Crown. They're the illuminated manuscript margin rabbits.
Killer rabbits.
Are killer rabbits. There you go. These are fantastic. I painted them up in like a half cartoony, half realistic kind of way, right? So they just look like cottontail rabbits, generic cottontail rabbits. So you can see they got the white bellies and the white tails, but I didn't get them all brown and stuff, right? Because they're not common house rabbits. They're distinguished, civilized rabbits, right? And so there's a bunch of them, all kinds of cool stuff, some weird sort of pipes. Guy with a
did you say you've ordered more already?
Yeah, I've already ordered more of these. I ordered kind of a lot, or I ordered a bunch more. To be honest with you, it wasn't like another 10 or 5 or something. You guys see, I ordered a lot more. But there's a little rabbit with a shield and a falchion, guy with a spear and a horn. There's all kinds of stuff. So what I did here was I got the original Kickstarter and then the hunting party. So I got a lot of like individual. I don't have many repeat sculpts in here. So part of that is, the rabbits traditionally fight the dogs. I got a bunch of rabbits with bows. Here's a rabbit with a different kind of cudgel. Somewhere in here, there's a rabbit with a mace.
They're very characterful.
They are. They're massively characterful. They're super cool. Here's a guy with a horn. Another one with a sword and a buckler. Big fans. Here's one with a claymore. Because, of course, William Wallace the rabbit. There's my guy with a mace. So there's a rabbit with a mace. Got a big old whacker. Right? As well, the rabbits traditionally are like fighting or portrayed with dogs. So here's a little kind of mangy dog looking guy. Again, really in that illuminated manuscript style. Big fan. And then here's their de facto leader. Instead of a falcon on his glove, he's got a snail. I decided to make the snail golden, and the snail itself is bright green. But again, he's riding on a dog. It's just, I don't know. I really like the figures. There's guys with crossbows. These guys, I have 2 of these figures. They are designed. Where's the other one? There he is. They are designed to have flags on them, which I will inevitably wind up putting on there because he also sends you, hang tight, really cool flags, which you should go look at on his website. Because I went to go grab them and they were not exactly where I thought they were, so we're not going to hold it up. But you should go look on his website. There's a lot of cool stuff on there. the flags do come with a lot of the figures. So by all means, those are, like I said, those are not only by far my favorite figures from this challenge so far, but then also my favorite figures that I painted in general in quite some time. Big fan. Can't recommend them enough. There's next to no cleanup on these, which is really nice. It seems like in the era of plastic miniatures and 3D printing, the standards in terms of clean figures that don't require a lot of clipping cleanup has kind of dropped. These are outstanding. Excuse me. But yeah, so that's, like I said, I think it's 244 28 millimeter figures. Of that 18, how many of these guys did I have? There's 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 21, and one mounted. So that's 39 28 millimeter figures, including one mounted figure that I got completely painted, based, done, as well as all these sixes were painted, based, and completed over the course of the challenge. So I had a very good, very productive challenge, which I always do when we do these sorts of things, which is why I really enjoy them. I like getting into the spirit of that and just having that hammer down attitude for, you know, the duration and pushing and seeing how much I can get done, and trying to push past what I thought. So I think I did that. I had a good time and I enjoyed myself. Yeah. These will also be going on to the rabbit faces. Yeah, these flowers.
Nice.
Just because of Shadow's Edge miniatures. I don't know if Shadow's Edge miniatures is still a thing. If they are, go check them out. I think I got these for free at some sort of event back in the day. I'm a big fan, but I'm going to have a lot of these flowers on my rabbits as well, because of course they will. Yeah. And that's McMurray's contribution to this challenge so far. I told myself I wanted to get 500 points. I'm at 283 now. So over the next 3 months, I need to get 217. I think I should be able to do that.
I think maybe you could.
I think tonight I might try and get a bunch of these put back into their cases, because I have a stack of cases behind me that I took these guys out of. Chris, I don't know. Should I try painting stuff tonight, assembling some buildings tonight, or go balls to the walls trying to base more?
Well, I would say a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. So,
okay.
What you need to do is you're going to need to put all of that away before you do anything else.
I'm doing now. The issue is, where the hell do I set all this? Okay. We'll do that once we're done with the stream.
So let me go ahead and show you what I got done. It's not nearly as much as McMurray. That's we should all know that. But all of these are 3D printed from Skullforge. I'm a Patreon. I think the level is Journeyman. The only thing that I don't get to do with the Journeyman compared to Forge Master, and I think it's a $4 or $5 a month difference, is I don't get to be in the inner circle to say, hey, you need to design and do this next. I don't need that kind of pressure. So this is from this first four are from the first episode of the current season of The Mandalorian. They were space pirates, and in the show they reminded me a lot of the cowboys from Tombstone. So I gave them red sashes. So this is kind of the lead pirate here. And
I'm still not adequately able to express how excited I was when you said you were going to paint pirates. But that's fine.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I need to find something to actually, get real, actual, honest to God pirates.
I have lots of pirates. Maybe that's what I'll try and base, because there's like 100 and something of those that I have painted that I haven't based because I hate basing. That'd be a good.
Here's a dog-faced dude. dog-faced dude with only one eye. Now, one thing that I did get figured out. This guy's kind of cool. He's got the goggles going. I have figured out my favorite way to paint, and it's actually making me enjoy painting more.
Oh
And
yeah, what's that?
It's priming the miniature in black, then doing a heavy white dry brush, and then using the contrast paints on them.
Yeah, so doing the slap chop sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here is 2 tubes from Rogue One. And each of these guys took me almost no time at all to. Once I finally figured out how I wanted to get them painted, it took me and what I mean by how I was going to paint them is like what colors I was going to use. It got me no time. Took me no time at all to actually get them done.
Chris, did I give you those, or do you still have those other Ewoks with your Endor stuff?
Yeah, I've got them around here somewhere.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure you had them and I hadn't completely misplaced them and biffed it real hard. Okay, cool. My bad.
Yeah, it's okay. So here's Val from Solo. The little orangutan-looking dude in the blue flight suit, that's Rio from Solo. This is Infest Nest from Solo. I'm liking how, like, on the cloaks, how that's just turning out. To me it's so simple now. I don't have to futz with it. It just happens. Here is Obi-Wan.
I think it takes care of a bunch of the contrast with open spaces. You know what I mean? Probably. Yeah. Because that was always the issue, right? Was that you had contrast, which works great, but then when it's on a big open space, you get that tea staining really bad. But if you kind of obscure and break up that big open space by adding
that underlaying, base color,
that extra shade, it's all of a sudden not an issue.
Yeah. Here's Chewbacca. Chewbacca, as he is in Cloud City, carrying C-3PO.
Nice.
I got just random Rhodian civilian.
You got a couple just random things in there, but I like them.
Of course, you got the dinosaur head bounty hunter with like an MG-34 type, or maybe a Lewis gun type based laser rifle. He turned out nice. Then I had a trio of droids.
Oh man, that's what I meant to do. I meant to keep going. My bad.
It's okay. They're not great, but you know what? They look good from about 3 feet. And that's what's important. And then I've got the Inquisitor from Andor. Black is always difficult to paint. But I think I did a pretty good job. And then, of course, here's another Darth. This is my third Darth Vader. He turned out pretty good. So, and then I did have 2 guys already painted, and I just needed to get them based. And they are Sardaukar from the newest version of Dune. I think they turned out really nice also. And then him. And the basing I used was Patchy Plains from Luke App's Geek Gaming stuff. So
Yeah.
there you have it. I've got a lot more dudes. I've got some more Sardaukar to paint up, and I do have the Bad Batch guys to paint up, so I got them to go. But I gotta print out some more so I can keep painting on this for this challenge. I didn't put down a number to meet because to be completely honest, I don't know how many I'm gonna do, and besides, I can't win my own challenge. I can't draw my name to get prizes that I'm giving away.
Yeah, it'd be a little screwy.
Yeah, it's one thing I am going to do is when we go do the live show here start the live show here in about 45 minutes. For those that stayed with us that entire 24 hours or damn near all 24 hours, I'm going to do a drawing tonight just for those guys.
That was an impressive number of dudes.
Yeah, we had about 4 or 5 guys that were with us most of the night, if not the entire night. You guys that watched, y'all are gonna have a drawing tonight. That's Nguea and Charles. I know he dozed off from time to time, but that's okay. He was still with us. Who else did we have there with us?
Are we counting Tim D and Ptolemachus in that?
Yep. Yeah, Tim D, Ptolemachus.
There were a bunch. I mean, we're gonna have to go back and look, but
yeah. But I'm gonna do in the next couple of minutes. I'm gonna go do a quick look and see who was messaging in all four sessions, and I don't know what I'm gonna give away yet. But yeah, Percy was there.
Oh yeah. I'm about to say we had some that aren't necessarily normal viewers that definitely jumped on and rose to the occasion. It's good to see.
Yeah. So and whether they did any painting or not, or whether they were going to be part of the challenge or not, I don't care. They stuck through it with us. I mean, Warmutt and McMurray were there with me. McMurray came in about an hour late, but that's okay. He was driving home from somewhere.
I did, and I was trying to make up for it. Imagine how many figures I would have gotten based if I had that extra hour.
Yeah. So, yeah. Those guys, you two were with me. Jeffy was with us for a long time.
It's good to see Jeff on the show.
Yeah, it was. So it was a lot of fun. We're going to talk more about it here in about 45 minutes. So I think we're going to wrap this up for now.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go spend some time looking at getting a list of names real quick, and I'll figure something out, And then, so Mutt, if you're going to join me tonight, be on the lookout. You're going to get a link here in about 5 or 6 minutes. We can jump on and do our pre-chat. So until
Warmutt did do one of these videos as well. So hop on over to Mini Warmutt's channel. You can see.
Yes, absolutely. Check it out.
I'm dumb. I was asking you guys about matte finishes because my intent was to spray all these before I put them away. And now I got like half of them put away. Great big gaffs. But anyways, it's too humid to spray anyhow.
Oh yeah. It's crazy stupid humid.
It's gross.
So and Reese, I will send you a link. So I don't think any of the guys on the show that have been our regulars on the show will complain about bringing Reese on a more regular basis.
Point of order.
So No, we're not going to expose Warmutt to anybody.
Point of order: I would like to not have Reese on the show.
Why?
He paints too big of figures.
Would you stop it?
His toys are too large.
No, you stop.
And he's from Arkansas.
He lived in Kansas City. He lived in the Kansas City metro area. He's close enough. Hey, Charles wants Reese. Charles wants to see Reese. So
Charles gets what Charles wants. That's fair.
Exactly. Hey, Charles is #1 fan.
I'm aware.
So, all right, guys, we're going to see y'all here in about 44 minutes. I would say until next time, we'll see you on the flip side. But
yeah, just
flip side.
Hang out.
Flip side's coming fast.
Some of you guys have probably already commented on the other stream, so that's fine.
Probably so.
If I know Charles and Reese, they probably have.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. I'm not gonna do the outro. We're just gonna go ahead and end it, and we'll see you here in about 43 minutes. See you guys.
See you guys. Bye, Paulie.